What's up, guys? Zaf. You know it's Thursday. You know what that means. It's time for analysis, paralysis. I don't know. It just made sense in my head. I figured like that's what the song would be if I ever decided to go to a studio and make a song. It would probably sound like that. All sorts of high octaves and yeah, that's what I envisioned. So didn't come out, out the lyrics the right way, but whatever. Don't judge me. What's up, guys? How you guys doing this evening? You guys doing okay? Today, we're going to be analyzing some Bonchan. Bonchan versus Tokido and versus Nemo. I thought it was, I felt like it was appropriate because I'm going to be combining the analysis today with basically what we learned Monday. So for those of you that have missed my Monday series this week, it will be on my YouTube channel. When I do upload this archive to YouTube, in one of these corners will probably be the link. I don't know. I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna go about that, but so I'm gonna basically be analyzing today alongside the stuff that we learned. So for those of you that were already in here, it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a nice way to just hammer down what we learned and digest it even further. Bonchan, that's one of my favorite players, and then on top of that, he accomplished like some really great feats at ComboBreaker by beating Nemo and beating Tokido. I don't know what his track record is necessarily against Nemo in that matchup with Urian versus Nash, but I know he hasn't beaten Tokido. I'm pretty sure of it. So the fact that he did both in one tournament setting was like pretty cool. There's a lot of gems in the sets, and especially because his character, right, can't really walk, like has a really slow walk speed. It really makes it interesting to see the whole spacing dynamic from Bonchan's perspective because he has to commit a lot. His character is kind of like a charge character without it being a charge character because his character can't really move as fluidly as like a Cammy or as a Chun-Li. So he has to commit a lot more like a charge character in a sense. So that's pretty much why I am gravitating towards his sets for this week, just because of what we learned on Monday. So like, this is gonna be kind of new. Well, this is relatively new because last week when I did the Monday and Thursday series, they were independent of each other, but now I'm gonna kind of fuse them together. My friend Ross gave me the idea of just kind of making them work and coincide, the lesson and the analysis. So what I'm gonna be doing today. So yeah, so let's get started. Let's get started. All right, let's see. Put my chat up on my phone so that way I can still see what you guys are saying. All right, cool. So, Bonchan versus Tokido. So, common belief is that Akuma beats Nash. I'm not arguing that. I don't really. I mean, I'm not surprised just looking at like the surface level of the characters and the design of the characters and just how both of them take advantage of the engine. So Akuma does a lot of damage, and then his pressure is probably top in the game, right next to Cammy's, if not slightly underneath Cammy's pressure. And then he obviously has like the mobility options in the air with the air fireball, so it's really hard to kind of like pin him down. And then so he has this mobility, right? And then he has this damage that goes and bolsters the character even further. Nash is lower damage, and then his mobility is great, but his walk speed isn't. So if he had the walk speed on top of the movement, then he would be like insane, right? But because he doesn't, it's a lot easier to track how he's gonna move around because of the walk speed not being so drastic. It's not really that influential in the matchup. So like if you can pick your spots on the screen, then you can cover multiple options based off of the option that you choose, as opposed to an Akuma who can walk and block or walk and pressure, walk and whiff punish, walk and fireball. It's a lot easier for him to do that. All right, so the focus of this set is that we're gonna use the zones that we learned from the other day, right, to see exactly where Bonchan dictates the fight. So if you look at Nash has a fireball. So right there and then that fireball is most likely going to be used as some sort of like labyrinth, some sort of like how do you say, obstacle course for the opposing player to have to navigate around, right? And in the meantime of them trying to navigate the fireball, most of the damage is really done on their movement to try to get around fireball. Okay, so the fireball is not really meant to hit until maybe like certain scenarios, like maybe he wants to activate V-Trigger, because, you know, Nash can do fireball, V-Trigger, and then he can combo and get some pretty good damage off of it. It's not like that. Mostly he's gonna use it to just try to convince you to try to do an anti-fireball move. And then hopefully at that point in the match, the Nash player just shifts the focus to try to punish what he's anticipating, right? So that's what you're gonna be looking for. We're gonna be looking for that. So we're gonna see where exactly Bonchan's gonna dictate the fight. If you look at Nash in general, it's usually around like that start of the match spacing, and the reason being is because at that exact range, he can do max distance scythe, which is the medium kick scythe, and it can hit on like the later active frame. So instead of it being like, you know, what is it, like -9 or something like that, it can now be like a frame less. So it's just enough so it can potentially mess up somebody's punish attempt. Right, because a frame can make all of the difference in the world in a game like this. If you mess up and then all of a sudden you thought you punished, and then it's like Cammy's spiral arrow, you block that, you get massive damage. So that spacing is really good for Nash because he can kind of adjust his scythe block stun, not drastically, but it's just enough to maybe thwart the opponent's punish attempts. And then also at that same exact range, he has more options in terms of his fireball. He can slow fireball and move behind it to gain advantage. So if he ever wants to transition into offense, that's usually how Nash's will go about it. Also, he can fireball, and that's where his anti-airs work the absolute best. Because if he's any closer like sweep range, he's susceptible to like certain cross-up moves where it'll hit him but avoid his crouching strong, or he might move too far forward with his like standing heavy kick, you know. So then at that point he'd have to do like an air-to-air. And that means he's taking away his focus from the footsies game, which he already has to focus on tremendously because of the walk speed. You know, he can't really autopilot and move around. He has to be like really calculated and accurate with his movement. So Nash doesn't really want to be at zone 2 unless it's like there's some sort of hidden agenda, right? So you're gonna see a lot in this set, at least, that Bonchan's gonna be at zone 3 to 4 primarily. He's gonna be maneuvering between that until he initiates offense, or unless he's pressured, then obviously he has no choice until he figures out how to reset the spacing. So we can see that right now. Okay. All right, so those V-skills were definitely to convince him to try to go for some sort of big move. All right. So he's hovering in sweep range right now. Okay. And you see he's at a life deficit until this. I believe now he's at advantage. Okay. So see, now if you look at his movement, he's not really trying to be aggressive like he was towards the beginning of the rounds. So that can kind of tell you right off rip that Bonchan wasn't... Oh, that was really good. Bonchan's intentions weren't really to fight at that sweep range. It was more so like he was establishing something, maybe to try to put Tokido's focus on something in particular at sweep range. So that way it would be a lot harder for him to stop him from maneuvering back to zone 3, where Nash typically would want to be in this matchup. Because you can see it right here. Look at what he gets off of this situation. He can dash up an anti-air, a neutral jump with EX Scythe. So it's even possible that this entire matchup could have led up to just that moment, you know, to that KO checkmate moment, where he gives Tokido that impression where he wants to fight at sweep range. So Tokido's like, well, he's not at sweep range right now, you know. So then he gets caught with that to end the round. So let's watch the opening gambit of round 2. So the start of the match spacing, what happens? All right, so Tokido throws a fireball this time. What happened the very first round? at this spacing. I believe Tokido didn't do anything, or did he backdash? What happened? Ah, okay, that's what happened. So Tokido was buffering strong, possibly because he's trying to give him the impression he's throwing fireball to see if maybe Bonchan would try to jump or something, right? Because if he whiffs the medium punch, he would still be able to DP it, the jump in attempt. And on top of that, if he dashes, he'd dash right into it, and it's probably buffered into Tatsu, and then he starts his pressure. Because obviously Akuma just wants to get in and just rinse, wash, repeat the mix-ups, and eventually KO you. So Bonchan, he starts off with the fireball right away. Okay, so that can kind of explain why his opening gambit here was a slightly delayed fireball, right? Okay. Okay, so now they're at zone 3. So Bonchan's kind of like attacking into the space, not really attacking the character if you pay attention to this. He's not really trying to hit Akuma. It's like he's more so attacking where he thinks he's going to extend into. He's like more so trying to attack what he thinks the movement of Tokido is going to be, as you know, and not really hitting him where he's at. And that might be one of the reasons. One of the reasons that he could be doing that is because Nash's walk speed isn't that reliable. So he's more, I guess, inclined to do it to playing this way. Ah, okay, that was really good. So why did Tokido jump? Was that fireball range? So remember what we talked about from the beginning of the week on Monday's series, that when Zone 3 is created, that's a couple of things. That's rhythm range, that is fireball range, that's jump in range, right? So if you look at the spacing of the back throw, this is basically Zone 3. So I mean, it could make sense. That's why he dashed into the jump in. Maybe he was anticipating, like, he probably anticipated that Bonchan was gonna backdash and maybe like try to fireball just to get that relief, you know, because I feel like when Bonchan is kind of getting pressured, his comfort zone is getting to a spacing where he can at least put a fireball on his screen to kind of clear his mind. That's like his way and method of clearing his mind. That was really good. Okay, so this opening gambit, Tokido backdashes. Bonchan goes for the same opening with the jab, but he doesn't do the back fist. Instead he what does he walk back? Backdash. Okay. And this triggers this. So at this spacing, Tokido knows, right? This is why Tokido just opts to not do anything crazy, because he's trying to convince him to throw a fireball. That's why he backdashed. He's trying to tell him, hey, I'm zoning mindset, you know? But he jabs. That jab is a whiff. Anytime you see a jab like that at a range where it's not gonna hit you, that means it's some sort of deception going on. He's definitely trying to sell an idea to Bonchan, because he backdashed, which means he's obviously further away than that initial spacing was, and on top of that, he jabbed, and that jab is a feint. So it's not like he could convert full screen off of it. So that means there's something that he's looking for behind the jab. So you see how he follows it up with the dash. So that dash tells you there's an increase in aggression. Hence why this happens. So he has like some sort of read going on, right? But Bonchan doesn't bite. What's going on, Shiv? That was really good on Bonchan's part. See, because he's suspicious. He's like, why did Tokido just backdash there? That's why he's like, okay, I'm going to just fake like I'm going to throw a fireball. All right, back to zone 3. He's attacking the space. He's trying to convince him to move so he can do this. Now look at his health bar. Now we're moving into more sort of like a mid-game. Nice. That was really good. That's like just a player read. The fact that he air reset him, he just blocked. That was really good. Okay. Nice opening gambit. What's up? Shut him down. Okay, so now we see the next layer of the opening phase, where Tokido backdashes. This time he gives him a fireball. It's not a fake like last time, because he learned from the last round. He learned the Bonchan doing the jab and then just not doing anything, you know. So now when he senses like complacency, that's when Tokido is like, I'm gonna take advantage of you waiting, and I'm gonna impose and influence the match by doing things, by being active. And by being active, it means that he's the one that's being proactive, because he's putting his will into the match. And now the opposing player, because they didn't do anything, now they're forced to react. Bonchan, though, he's so sharp, man. Like, he's so aware of like the mind game at the beginning that he doesn't play into it. See, like, he knew from the last time, well, there's a reason why Tokido did that backdash the previous round, right? But he didn't reveal anything last round besides the dash up and then the EX flip. So there has to be some sort of aggression that's coming after this. That red fireball, that was the first time he did that, though. So that tells him right there, like, okay, he's not going to do a flip because he doesn't have bar. But that means that when he does this sequence of backdash, jab, or whatever, backdash, that there's some sort of increase in aggression. And by him seeing the fireball there instead of a jab, now he's like, oh, okay, so you're in fireball mindset. That's why he commits to this. It was really good. Back to zone 3. See, backdashes, trying to maintain that positioning. Nice. Now, what's really interesting, this is really subtle, I want you guys to see this, is that whenever he's in close range, right, and he commits to a negative situation like that fierce, he always puts himself, he always cancels in a way with like a delay or whatever special that allows him to backdash and avoid most likely all of the counter poke scenarios. That way he can get back to this range of zone 3 where he can just zone and he can get back to the character's strength. Occasionally he does a little bit of the, you know, hit and run style just to confuse them a little bit, because the more you can take their focus off of your true and sincere strategy, then the more your real strategy is going to work, because they just are kind of preoccupied with other things, other variables that they have to account for. Let's see. See, so that's why that spacing is really good, because he's one of the very few characters that can consistently anti-air from this range just because of knee bullet. Because even if you do like an empty jump, most other characters, right, if they empty jumped, and let's say if I'm Ryu and you empty jump, right, IDP, that's gonna whiff. But Nash covers such a long amount of space with his knee bullet that he can play at this range that other characters kind of struggle to. Now he's hovering outside of the fierce range. Now he's back to zone 3. Okay, he's trying to see. All right, that was really good. So, like the opening game, now Tokido's turn to learn from it. Tokido does one red fireball, and he knows from the opening game that Bonchan was expecting the second one, right? Or expecting another fireball, expecting a fireball movement. So Tokido just goes for it. That was really good punish. Nice. See, so now he purposely goes to create the range. See how he walks back? And he's trying to give him that impression of, we're at zone 3. This is the fireball range. You know I'm fireballing, or I'm doing really laggy things like back fist. So what are you going to do? This is your opportunity to get out of the corner. Are you going to take it? So he jumps. See, that's why that jab was there. It was so subtle, though. See? Again, anytime you see something like this, just try to remind yourself at certain ranges that this is a bait. This is just, they're trying to trigger you to do something. So he triggers the jump. That's why he was ready to air it. But and he air it with the heavy button, which is like a lot slower than the light or medium attacks that you would use on reaction. Like just raw reaction. Like when Bonchan doesn't react to, he doesn't expect you to jump, but he reacts to you jumping. He does jump jab. So the fact he does jump roundhouse is like, okay, that was definitely a tell. Nice, see? So he was aware again of the same spacing zone, that zone 4 full screen type spacing, where he just puts a fireball on the screen and he knows Bonchan adapts so fast that his mind is going to automatically switch to fireball, anti-fireball mode. See? And he DPs it. That was really good. Okay. That's good because remember what we were talking about earlier when Bonchan wants to kind of like create a spacing, he'll like counter poke, he'll push himself out of range. So on offense he'll do it, he'll block string and push himself out of range. But on defense, when he really wants to create a space between him and his opponent, where he wants to get to zone 3, he'll try to counter poke. So I think that was what Tokido was going for here, was that he just sensed like he wanted to create like space, Nice. See that jab? Now, the difficult thing about seeing stuff like this when you see that first jab is like, how long does he stay in that mode for? That's what really separates you as like a player that can read body language, is if you could pick up on when he shifts. And when he shifts, is it a real shift? Like, is he just shifting to make it seem like he's going towards another part of his strategy? Or is he just trying to like get me to get excited and be like, oh, okay, he's doing this, and then all of a sudden I fall for the bait? See, because he neutral jumped. All right. Nice. That's that fierce, when he does the jabs after the fierce whiff, right? That's just Tokido being really aware of his options. He understands that Nash is a character that's gonna have a hard time with punishing at zone 2, zone 2.5, right? Unless he uses sweep. So if he's gonna sweep, he's gonna whiff punish with sweep. So be it. But if they're not gonna do that, they're most likely gonna try to follow up with something, right? So that's why he follows this up with a jab, and it catches him dashing, trying to press a button. That's why understanding zones is really, really good for you, because you understand the options a lot faster. You don't really have to process too much information. It's just, I know at this range that these are the set options, like fundamentally speaking, if we look at the skeletons of the characters. So he's going right back to that fainting game we talked about earlier at the same exact spacing, but this time he fireballed. Nice. So the difference there is Tokido doesn't mind going for this because he feels as though Bonchan is the one that's at life deficit, so Bonchan is the one that feels pressured to doing something. He doesn't have super, so it's not like he can convert into anything crazy right now. So, he feels like, this is worth it. This isn't a bad idea. So match start, jump roundhouse. Nice. See, so that's the weak spot. That's why right there, that exact situation, even though he had him in block stun, like, granted, he's negative, but he doesn't want this to happen. He does not want this to happen. This is why he tries to move and get out of the situation as quickly as possible, because that's kind of the dead zone for Nash, especially if you have a jumping light attack. Because not only does he have to guess, is he gonna cross me up or not, but then it's like I have to guess the right anti-air normal at that. Nice. Same situation as earlier when he neutral jumped the fireball. You see, he had that, and he still was ready for the anti-air. Now this is really good. So if you look at the bars, right? Akuma isn't V-trigger, already activated, and he's about 2 hits away on block from getting super. All right, so this is the reason why this works. Because Bonchan, when he gets knocked down, he takes like a mental picture of the entire screen and he assesses the situation like, all right, I can definitely die here from this. All right. Right. Look at that. He literally didn't get super until that crouching strong. He did not get it until right here. That's why he was so ready for it. That was really good. All right, jumping roundhouse like the previous round. Tokido's ready for it. You see how fast these guys adjust to the opening gambits? Like, that's a really awesome thing to see like get demonstrated, because they try to win all the small battles. It's not like you're gonna KO your opponent from the start of the round, but the point is that you just try to establish as much advantage as possible against players that you know are very strong, you know. Lost in Hot, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. But Bonchan's being a lot more aggressive right now. I feel like maybe Bonchan's a little excited, like, damn, I have the chance to beat Tokido finally. Then he kind of just slows it down. He relaxes, gets back into how he wins. Nice. See, it's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of him dashing but not doing anything, and he's just trying to see what is he gonna do. He's trying to convince him. He's trying to convince him to up his risk. He's trying, because he doesn't want Tokido to be comfortable and play the match slow. He's like, no, I don't want that to be a thing. I want you to increase your risk so that way I can punish you for your mistakes. Because if we get into this game of you're gonna play really slow and then I might take the wrong risk, Bonchan will lose. So Bonchan wants Tokido to feel kind of desperate. That's why he's giving him all these laggy buttons, you know. Look at this. Back to back. Look at that. Like, he does back to back fierces. He didn't do that the whole set. So when you see stuff like this, it's a message. He's trying to influence. He's trying to literally pull Tokido's string. He's trying to convince him, like, do something. You know what I'm saying? Because Tokido, I'm pretty sure Tokido was like, didn't really care until that second one. The second one, then he's like, oh shit. All this, you know, this is an opportunity for me to cash in and mount my offense. And that's why he was ready for that. What did we say earlier? Bonchan doesn't do the jump roundhouse unless he knows you're going to jump. And now he's trying to keep him at that range offensively. So now he's not really trying to dash in or do anything too crazy. He's just like, I'm going to keep you here. See, that's why he does the back-to-back. Now he's doing more back-to-backs. He's committing a lot more to maintain the spacing and maintain a psychological advantage. It's not really about hitting him. He's just trying to maintain this dominance. That was really good. So see, again, this is the third time where he's got him cornered and he's willing to just back up because he's trying to just make him hang himself. See, the jab, the whiff, he wants to give him information. Look at that. Again, we've seen the same exact rhythm. The walk back, the jab whiff, throw a fireball, wait. Because he's trying to increase it in his mind that, hey, Tokido, I'm gonna start throwing fireballs. And then he gets that. So that was really good. That was awesome. That was a really good set. I enjoyed watching that. So what's up, guys? Talk to me before we get into the second match. What you know about Bites the Dust, though? Oh, man, I love that anime, bro. That anime is awesome. Fang loves you. Thank you, sir, for the cheers. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So, guys, let me know what you're thinking so far in terms of the feedback. If you guys like, if you guys have any questions, if you want to talk about anything. User unknown, thank you for tuning in, Dan. I appreciate it. Again, thank you, Fang loves you. That name's so funny. Just figuring out what? Lost in thought. About what? My amazing, spectacular stream? Alright, get some shout outs. Badstone, thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Virgo Pros, VNK, Subliminal Reaper, Spletto, Commander Root. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you, Dan. Emotes! Yeah, I'm trying to get that, you know, that partnership so I can get more emotes, because I'm gonna have the most godlike emotes this side of the sun. We gotta work towards it. That and you being into JoJo. Oh, bro, what? I love dude, I have like the entire, I think it's like part 5 and 6 in color. I have to finish that though. I love the anime. I just got put onto it like last year. Just joined towards the end. You're doing another set? Yeah, I'm doing one more set, Billy. Thank you for tuning in, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lost in Thought, for the share. I appreciate it, brother. I have a bad problem with Guile. With Guile? Guile, who do you play? Alright, let me set up this next one. Alright. Digging these streams, G, full of good info. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Stay Down. I appreciate it so much. You guys have no idea, because I get a lot of hate, which is weird, because it's like, yo, I'm just trying to help people out. Like, I have information that's I'm experienced, I'm seasoned, I've practiced, I've done so much traveling, and it's like a lot of you guys can't do that because you guys have obligations, but you still want to get better. So I'm like, hey, why not be the guy that does that? And then for some reason, people are getting mad at me and saying I'm wasting my time because it's Street Fighter 5. I'm like, what? Like, what do you want me to like do? Killer Instinct? I don't play Killer Instinct. Come on, man. Yeah, Bonchan does. You could definitely say that. He plays more straightforward because of especially because of the character he's playing. You know, you can't really cheap somebody out with Nash. The comeback factor isn't like, if you hit somebody with V trigger, it's not the end of the world. You know, and if you block it, it's not the end of the world. It's not like Urian's V trigger, where it's like if you block Urian's V trigger, you're like, ah, just like ripping your hair out of your head. Fang, Ed, Alex, and waiting on Cody. I can't wait for Cody. You guys watch the Cody stream? Oh man, we're gonna have fun that day. Trust me. When you say I hate it, just say the holy mantra, SMD from the back. Yeah. Yeah, I like Lost in Thought. Wild. That's funny. All right, guys, so before I get underway with the second set, if you haven't already, feel free to follow me on Twitch. Feel free to follow me on YouTube. I upload these archives to YouTube right afterwards. Yeah, and if you guys know anybody that would like to learn Street Fighter, and I mean, feel free to send them my way. I don't think anybody else will do this better than me on Twitch. And we'll have a lot of fun doing it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm learning too, so you guys are going to see the progress of Zaffarino himself as I go to majors and I compete, because you guys are helping me out by paying attention and listening, to be honest. Like, I'm enjoying this. All right, so let's see. I've been playing Falcon Zeku because I hate myself. That's totally fine. Understandable. Sounds like it's really stressful. All right, let's go back into it. Display. All right, guys. Cool. I wanted to go, but it's kind of pricey. I heard the tickets kind of dropped, so I might look into that after the stream. I don't know yet. I kind of want to go to New York every week instead, to be honest. But I don't know. I'll look into it. I do have a free hotel though at CEO. I could take advantage of that. But again, it's just the flights. Flights suck. All right. So let's start with this. So Nemo versus Bonchan. Okay, so the focus of this set is that both characters, players, whatever, they're going to be countering the opposing player's movement as they transition in and out of zone 3, because both characters kind of play at the same range. That start of the match spacing, they both have a fireball, right? So you're going to see them kind of dance around that range a lot. But what you're going to really notice that's intricate is how they will counter each other as they move in and out of the range. You know, because the story is when they get in and when they get out. Like, what are they doing? That's what each player's kind of targeting. That's pretty cool. I just need to understand frames, really. I feel I'm a great player from just self-teaching and watching people such as Nemo. Okay. I dig it. Okay, cool. So let's see. So opening. Okay, watch this. So start of the match. Let's see what the opening gambit is. Backdash, and they both. Okay, that's interesting. So they both backdashed. Okay, that's really good. All right, so look at the spacing. We see zone 3 already. So this is first real time outside of start of the match spacing that we see this. All right. That was interesting. Okay, so see, pushes himself to a range where he's not going to get hit by this crush counter, because if he stayed there, right, and he backdash, he might get hit by this crush counter on the backdash, and then maybe Nemo converts into some headbutt with pressure, right? So he backdashes, he gets the jab. We've seen the jab right here, like he did against Tokido. So this is a consistent theme in his strategy. See, the jab. Remember, you can whiff jab, standing jab, and crouching jab. You can mix it up and you know, give that variety, because your opponent might not notice that you do a stand jab or a crouching jab. They just, you know, they might think that you're doing something different because you did different jabs. Nice. Good anti-air. This is interesting. So if we look at his bar, right? This is a really subtle situation. So this is a zone 2 lesson that we can talk about here. So you see how Nemo is about one hit away on hit and like a medium on block away from getting V-trigger, right? So watch how this is really cool. You could track the mindset of both players because of this one small instance, right? He does crouching medium kick. Okay. And immediately Bonchan does Sabat kick, because he knows that maybe Nemo's trying to, I don't know, like counter poke or something, maybe push him away, right? Because he doesn't have the V-trigger yet. But notice Bonchan does it again, because he knows right after he got hit by that medium that this is a good time for Urian to do crouching medium kick, because at that range, the range that he does it at is basically like max range of crouching medium kick. So he does this crushes lows. I don't know if you guys know that, but this crushes low medium pokes. So anything that hits like really low, like a sweep or crouching medium kick, this will basically go over it and hit the opponent. So this is why he does it back to back, right? Now watch this. Now this is interesting, because you see how he does the knee? He's trying to get out of the corner, obviously. So a lot thing with like a lot of the smarter players is that they'll try to get your health down. So if you follow my mouse, they'll try to get your health down to like mid game, like health or whatever, and then they might activate their V-trigger, because they don't want to do it right away, because then you might get your V-trigger because of the damage, but you're not really a throw away from death, right? So they kind of like slow, they don't really play like a home run style of play right away. They're like, I don't want to use V-trigger yet because I want to dwindle your health down a little bit more. So this is probably why he's trying to do knee, to get out of the corner and position them, position Bonchan's Nash in the corner, so that way he can do like the whole throw game, frame trap game, get some damage in, right? Because look, even right here, he does crouching medium kick, but he doesn't go for it. You know, Urians, most lower skilled Urians will just right away, or when they want to mount offense, they'll just go right into the V-trigger. They'll just do it, all right? But after this, after that whiffed, after this whiffed forward medium punch, that's a change in aggression. Especially because it was right after a throw tech. He immediately does it. You see in Bonchan again, he's just taking advantage and he's trying to reset the spacing, get back to where he's winning. So this right here is an indicator that, okay, now Nemo's most likely in V-trigger mode, because now he just definitely wants to get blocks done and go for it. And look what happens. See? He could have punished that like with with EX shoulder. But he was just so focused at this point of getting that V trigger. See, now Bonchan just wants to get that space. Could have killed with super, but I guess he was just confident. Because if you think about it, Urian doesn't have V trigger. I mean, if he wakes up with an EX headbutt, so be it. It's not going to kill him, you know? Nice. So this is the second round. And you notice how he backdashes and doesn't do anything. But Bonchan does the fireball because the last round, Nemo did backdash into V skill. Nice. So that's another reason why this spacing is really good, because especially against a character like Urian, see, that was reversal timing, but that still didn't punish because it hit on the later active frames, and because it's further away now. Urian's EX chariot tackle is hitting later, so that means the startup is now slower technically. Ronin,
you loyal, you grateful. I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir. That's another one. That's 4 months in a row. I appreciate it, brother. You are the man. You just always been here supporting me, and I thank you for that very much when you don't even have to. Your viewership is already appreciated. The fact that you sub to me makes me just that much more grateful. So thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Okay, so back to the match. So we see that he's trying to create spacing. So this button right here, this poke is a I want to push you away poke. Medium kicks like that, especially defensively, are usually pokes like I want to get you away from me. All right? Because if he was in an offensive mindset, he would have used a button, like a medium punch. He would have used a hit confirmable move, right? But instead he does this. So this can kind of tell you right away that this is an indication Nemo wants to get away from me. Nemo wants to get away, which might mean he wants to zone, because zoning is a way of keeping your opponent away, right? So when he backdashes, Bonchan already committed to this. And look at how committed Nemo was in his mind to fireball. He backdashed. I'm pretty sure he saw him jump, but he still did fireball. He still did it. That was really good. Another skill, being able to move and still anti-air. See, this is really important, especially with a character like Nash. So you see how he backdashes, creates that zone 3. That's a fireball spacing, and he's aware of that. He's ready with the anti-air. That was really good whiff punish. That's awesome. Because he knows that at this range, I'm pretty sure heavy does not reach. Right? I think that was the medium version, though. I don't think heavy would reach at that range. And if it did, he would just react with EX. So it's not even worth the risk. And I'm pretty sure it wouldn't even be plus at that point. So he was ready for that. He dashed up and got the whiff punish. That was awesome. Now, does he react to it, though? Or did he already dash before? Oh, yeah. So he saw him leaving the ground. Nice. Nice. Look at that. That was awesome. That was so good. Because at that range, that like... Where is it? At this range, he's been doing this a lot. You know, just try to like get in there. Especially because he has V-Trigger. Like usually Urian players, when they have V-Trigger, they'll just EX Chariot at a range like this. Because they know that because you're not closer to them, it's very unlikely for you to counter poke them out of the startup of that move. But they tend to forget that the first move, it can be jabbed out of. You just have to space it, and not many players do it. That was really good. That was awesome. All right, so let's see. Oh, so there was one really interesting point I wanted to bring up. So about it was 18 seconds. Okay, so this string right here, this is like pretty cool. I realized this in analyzing today was like on this string, right? That's not a hit confirmable string. Like after he does the first back medium kick, he can get the second one, right? But he goes for this string in particular because he wants to create spacing. If he wanted a pressure, he would have just not fireballed and stayed close. That was like really interesting how Bonchan would basically like have a intention behind his block string where it's like he either wants to transition further or closer away, and based off of the string he's using would show you that, you know, because if he just ended the block string off of back medium kick, then he would have been close enough to where he's still a threat. His dash is still like legitimate, but because he put himself negative and further away with the fireball after the cancel, then that told you right away that he was gonna backdash. So you can actually like read stuff like this and just dash up and commit and punish somebody like that, because backdashes are 22 frames, and if you have like a 16 frame 17 frame dash, now you have, what is that, that's 9 frames of advantage, 8 or 9 frames of advantage, where you, no, 9 or 10 frames actually, 16 into 8, 22, what, 6, what the fuck am I talking about, 6 or 7 frames based off of the backdash. Let's say you have that. So if you have a fierce like Cammy could dash up, right? She has a 16 frame dash, and this is 22 frames on the backdash, I believe, on average. So she still has 6 frames of advantage. She can dash up in fierce potentially if I did it on reversal timing. So all right, let's go to. All right, so wait, where were we? Okay. Oh, so this was really good. So this is match 2, round 1. He backdashes, dashes up, and does a jump medium kick, I believe. Or is that a heavy kick? I don't know. But point stands that this basically counters the hitbox of the knee bullet. So Bonchan doesn't have meter, so he's pretty aware that at that spacing that his anti-air option of choice is gonna be knee bullet. This is why zones again are just really good, because if he jumps, he knows that this is gonna be the main anti-air button of choice, right? So he dashes up and creates zone 3. So he goes full screen originally, right? But the dash now creates a new range, zone 3, and he jumps. Now he gets offense. It's a really good gamble. Nice. Wow. So we've seen that the same way he kind of did the stand medium kick. Remember how we did it earlier and he jumped in on him? It's the same thing. He understands that this means Nemo wants to push himself away. But this time he actually connects. Last time he hit him, but he couldn't connect. He was too far away. Nice. Pushed himself just out of range. Nice. That's really good. So typically at this range, when Urians do the stand fierce, uh, and they don't get like a hit confirm off of it, because you can easily hit confirm it, they'll just go into a fireball. So this is just kind of punishing a common Urian tactic. So this is where movement can kind of backfire. So you see how he got that and he dashed up and he backdashed, and now he kind of puts himself in a mix-up unintentionally. He doesn't really want to be there. And now he's cornered too. So this is why movement, being aware of your movements, is really important. Oh, okay, so now Nemo's purposely mixing it up with the stand medium kick. See? Because now he's not backdashing. Now he's dashing up. He's trying to be aggressive off of the stand medium kick now. Because he got red twice off of it. There you go. That was the first time he punished that. Okay. If that range, that zone 3 range, that's EX Chariot Tackle is such a nuisance for Nash because it's so fast. It's 7 frames or something obnoxious like that. Okay. See, that's funny. So after the backdash, after that big move, he does the whiff because he wants to keep track of Nemo's mindset. See how he's kind of delaying? He's delaying in between the fireballs at zone 4 because he's trying to confirm and see like what's going on. The fireballs aren't as back to back as they were in this situation. Like, look at this. See, like that right there, back to back to back, no stopping. When you see slight delays, that means he's trying to confirm what's going on the screen. See, walk back, throw. Dead. He messed up his EX scythe. Try to anti-air, you got heavy by accident. Nice. So if that spacing, that anti-air created sweep. So, you know, sweep is basically cross-up range, right? He's back to attacking the space. Alright, so Nemo's back to that zoning playstyle after the stand medium kick. Yeah, he had advantage. So that was really good spacing for Nemo to be at because of the bar he had. But of course, the risk was that Bonchan had super. But he just reacted. He did the fireball afterwards. But because it was EX Sphere, and because Bonchan's Nash only did a non-EX fireball, he basically had the advantage, even though he did it after him. Right? Because look, he reacted to it, and then he just does it. He has 2 hits. So that's why that spacing is really important for fireball zone, because they could just kind of dash up with the fireball and maintain advantage. See how he pokes it? He poked him out of a jab. I'm trying to show you guys the jab. Look at this. In priority. All right, so last game. All right. Nice. See, dash ranges are so important to know because if you're aware of your dash range, then you can do things like this. Like most dashes would not go underneath this. But Nash's dash is so like much further than a lot of characters that he can just do this. He can take advantage. Ah, okay. So Nemo does the medium kick, backdash, but no fireball. Nice. Nice. He's trying to sweep under the fireball. That is a tactic you can use this against Guile too, because Guile gets fatter at his feet when he does a fireball. Nice. That was a really good option. I didn't even know that beat that. And see, this is the danger. of being at sweep range, at zone 2, right? Look at this. Dead zone. Could have waited, but he didn't really want to wait, you know, because he's all emotional right now. It's really tense. It's the last match. Like, these type of things end up happening even with the best players because emotions start to pour over, you know, because there's a lot on the line. You really pay attention to this is the last match. Nice. Oh, that was really good. All right. So I'm gonna take this one situation in a training mode because I want to show you guys something. The reason why this worked, and this was really dope, because this is something that Nemo gets away with a lot. So when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, damn, Bonchan was definitely on his shit that day. I'm gonna show you guys something. So this is gonna be the last part of the stream. Check this out. We're in training mode. All right, I'm Urian, and the computer's gonna be Nash. So I want to show you guys something. I have 3 situations recorded. All right, the first one is this into dash throw. So it's jab jab dash throw. Right. The second one is jump. Okay. Now I want you guys to see something. I'm gonna have the first 2 situations playing back to back. So it's it's jab jab dash throw and jab jab jump. Okay. I want you guys to see something. All right. I'm gonna do the same timing every time. All right. All right. This is the reason why this is so good. Because then you can convert. I'm not a Urian player, but right, and you could go into like jab, jab, V trigger, whatever, right? Okay, so this basically covers both options. Just one timing. So this situation, Nemo ends up doing it a lot, especially in endgame, because he doesn't have to really think about what they're gonna do. Right? So he can just do that. So this is why Bonchan does this. Because of that timing. So that's the reason why he does that. So it's just something to keep in mind of. Whenever you see somebody doing something that covers multiple options, the best time to punish that is in the end game, because that's what they're going to resort to, because they're trying to not guess so much in the end game. At least smarter players. Like the emotional players, those players, they'll go on a whim and do whatever they want. But the more intelligent players, they're like more structured in their risk reward. So they're going to be like, you know, I'm going to hold off from doing anything too risky, and I'm going to just play to this, you know, or whatever. So that's just something to keep in mind. That was like a little example of that. It's like that delayed jab situation. You can use it or you can fight against it. I just gave you both examples of how it's good and how it can be countered. But yeah, that's basically it for the stream, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in.